What's up, guys? It's Russ from Backyard Boat Works. So I tried to film this video yesterday with my GoPro, and for some reason the microphone, I think it got wet or whatever, and the audio was mad sketchy. So just thought I would use my other camera today to kind of try to introduce a project that I'm going to be showing a lot on this channel. And it's a boat that I purchased about 3 years ago, and it's a 1987 Silverton 37C. So check it out here. So since I was going to be showing this boat so much on the channel, I've actually been working on this boat for about 3 years, and probably the first year and a half I was every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, all day, Fridays, some nights, things like that, trying to just really get the boat done. And then I started doing more fiberglass work and taking on customer projects. And to be honest, I got a little burnt out on it. I wanted to use it. So I was just, going hard on it. And then, I was just sick of it. So I had to put it aside. I put it aside probably just after the COVID thing hit. And then I took on some other projects, and I really haven't touched it again until about 3 weeks ago. I started working on it quite a bit. So like I said, I purchased this boat about 3 years ago, and I paid $21,000 for it. The boat, cosmetically, it was just in rough shape, but mechanically, it was in really good shape. The engines have 900 hours on them. It's a twin 454 gas boat, which over the next 5 years or so, I might do a repower. I haven't decided which direction I want to go. I really would like to get rid of the gas engines, but doing diesels is a little more complex and a little more expensive than I think that I'm willing to put into this boat. So I've considered doing triple outboards as well, which I know a lot of people think that's crazy, but I think it would make the boat a lot usable. That's a whole nother video. I'm not going to get into it. So I originally purchased this boat because my girlfriend and I were just trying to downsize our living expenses, and I thought if we could move into the boat full time, then it would help us save on our rent, because we pay a lot of rent to live in the house that we live at, to have a dock space. But we were fortunate to find a good deal, and we're very blessed and fortunate to be able to be here. But my girlfriend works. She has a small home-based business. I have a home-based business. So after we started looking at the financials of it, a full-time liveaboard space in Fort Lauderdale is going to be at least $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 a month, depending on where you keep the boat. So if we had to pay for that, and then I'd also have to pay for an office space or a warehouse space, we're not saving any money. It just made more sense to get a house and then be able to work in the house, in the garage with our home-based businesses, and then get a house with a dock, which it's hard to find rentals in Florida that are affordable, that are on the water. I have to keep putting the camera down because the camera's heavy. For me to hold it up, my arm I need to do some more curls. So enough yapping about the boat. We don't really plan to live on it full time, at least not until at some point in the very distant future. So the plans for that have changed, but now I'm stuck with the boat, and I'm just really trying to get it so we can use it, take it for long weekends, quick overnights, just take it out, to a local sandbar, throw anchor, sleep overnight, barbecue. Those are the things that we really want to use it for. And I don't have a lot of money into it. It's paid off, so it's not a big deal. The biggest expense really is just, the bottom cleaning every month, and, the dock space, which we have included in our rent. But if I had to move it to another place, then I would have that dock space cost. So enough chit chat, rambling about that. Let me walk you through the boat real quick, and I'll show you kind of where I'm at with it and some of the things that I'm working on today and in the next couple weeks. All right, so the biggest thing that I've been working on the past couple weeks, and this has probably been 3 or 4 weeks working on this. This boat came with a rope-only windlass, and a rope-only windlass isn't going to work very good down here. And this boat, I think, was originally in New Jersey, and most of these boats were around that area. So anyways, I'll throw some pictures in here in this video, but when I took the windlass out, there was big holes in the deck from, you know, the chain tube and things. So I took a piece of plywood and put it over the top, and then it's all epoxied and glassed in. So this is where my new chain windlass is going to mount. So that's what I'm working on now, and I'm really just trying to get the boat ready to be painted. So this all had non-skid, so I sanded all the non-skid off. From the windows forward, the boat's all ready to be painted pretty much. All this here was all new glass. This was all cracked and damaged, so I cut out all that glass. It's all been replaced. Yesterday I was working on adding this little feature here. So on the side of the house, it didn't have this accent piece. It just came straight down, and I thought it looked just unfinished. So I took a piece of PVC and epoxied it to the leading edge of the house, just to make this a little bit more attractive. So this blue here is primer, so I just put some primer on it yesterday to see any little imperfections that I need to fix. This part of the house, the helm, and then this part of the house, this used to be two pieces. This had screws all the way around the outside, and it was just ugly. So when I first got the boat, I took all the screws out and I glassed it together to make this and this one piece. All right, so back in the cockpit is where I spent a lot of my time. There's probably months and months of work in here. I know it's hard to see it, but the deck was all cracked and damaged, so all this entire deck is all resurfaced except here in the center. This hatch is super heavy, and it's plywood core, and I'm planning to replace this with a composite, so it's easier to lift. It's very hard to lift it, and it's heavy. If you dropped it on your toes, it'd be no bueno. So I actually built this as well. The first couple of times we used the boat, we had a big ass cooler that we had sitting in the back, but the cooler overlapped this hatch. So in order for me to get into the hatch where I keep my fenders and things, I had to slide the cooler out of the way to open the hatch. It was just a pain in the ass, so I figured having a dedicated cooler would be great. So I purchased this liner, this bait well liner, and I'm gonna have some videos on this soon. So the inside of this was a liner, and then I just encased it in with fiberglass and things like that, and there's 2 inches of foam here, all the way around it, all the way around the back, and underneath is foam. So this is completely insulated, and then the top is 2 layers of honeycomb Nidocore. So once I put the rubber gasket on this, it should keep ice pretty well. You know, I'm not really intending for it to hold ice for days and days. This is more like a day cooler, so it would be nice to just throw some things in here. I put a divider in as well, so we can have dry stuff and, you know, ice, wet stuff. A boat just came through and a neighbor's dog was barking like crazy. So here I built this lounge. This is all completely made out of honeycomb, and it has the backrest here, so I plan to get a cushion to have this. I wanted a little bit more seating in the back. I don't do any fishing, so I wanted to make the cockpit a little more usable. And then over here in the corner, this is also, sorry the pictures gets all whacked out. This is another compartment I made for a propane tank, so that will have the propane in there, 100% sealed with a rubber gasket with a vent line that will go overboard. So if there's any propane leaking in there, it will drain out instead of going down into the bilge. All right, so moving to the inside of the boat, it's a mess. I haven't really worked in here in probably over 2 years. I pulled out all, this used to be plywood on here, so I pulled all that out because I did have a leak in my window and it damaged all the plywood. But I'm trying to get all the wood out of this boat. This boat did have termites in it before I bought it. I have found some termite activity in the past 3 years, but if you have a boat in Florida with wood in it, you're going to have termites. It's not a big thing. You just gotta, when you see the activity, just kind of be on top of it. So I'm probably going to get the boat tented soon, just to be careful, you know, just to be safe. So I'm planning to rip out all these cabinets right here because I feel like, you know, I could put a chair here and then I can replace the storage with some more creative storage. This just takes up a lot of space, so this is going to all come out. So I did start working down here. in the front area. So when I purchased this boat, I specifically liked this boat because of this boat under 40 foot has a really large layout. So it's a 14-foot beam, but you can see for a 37-foot boat, the living area is very, very good. But the galley and the head layout, it was a terrible use of space, so it's a bunch of crap here right now. But this galley, you can see, this is a one-person galley. There's a little stove there. It's terrible. So if we were planning to live in here, I mean, even for any extended period of time, even a long weekend, one person in the galley, that's it. There's really nowhere to prep food, just a little space here. It was crap. So this is the existing head. Hard to see. So my plan is to rip out this galley, rip out this head. I left it so that it's functional, so we can take it and use it if we want to, but I'm moving the head to this side of the boat. So this area used to have a settee or a U-shaped sitting area that went in this area, so it took up all this space, and it was just space that I feel like was poorly utilized. So I'm moving the shower to here. So this is going to be the shower pan, and the walls will be all fiberglass. I think this is 32 by 36-ish, give or take. And plus, in this area of the boat, I have the most headroom from here to here, whereas over here, the ceiling's a lot lower, and the headroom in the shower isn't that great. And then, trying to get a good angle here, there'll be cabinets along this side of the starboard hull, and the toilet will be right here. So this will be a wall, and this here is a full-length closet for the girlfriend to hang the dresses and things like that. So the closet will probably come back halfway, maybe somewhere to here, and then on this side there'll be access from inside the head for towels, shampoos, whatever here, and there'll also be storage here behind the shower wall. So I really wanted to rebuild the V-berth area, but all of this here is tabbed into the hull, and all of this gives structural integrity to the hull. And you can see here there was some tabbing on the starboard hull to the cabinets that were in here before. So when I put these cabinets back in, I need to make sure that I put the bulkheads back in place, and I re-tab this in, because all of this is access support for, that's a huge span of fiberglass from there to there. This hull is 100% glass, and there's no coring in there. So I need to make sure that I put all this support back in and tab it into the floor. If I was to pull out this V-berth, I wanted to try to lower it down, but I'm not going to gain anything. If anything, I would want to go up so that I would have more leg room and headroom left to right. But I think I'm just going to leave it. I might be able to bring the mattress kind of back to this area here. It just depends on how far I end up making the galley. So the galley is going to run all the way to here, and then I might have it L shape here at the end with, some bar stools, or even make it somewhat of a U here, so we have some bar stools that would sit, kind of in this walkway area. Not sure. We'll see how it goes when I get to that point. All right, so and the other thing is the mechanicals of this boat. So like I said, this boat has about 950 hours on it, give or take, but a couple months ago the transmission had a little leak. It's a velvet drive. My dad took it apart. My dad has rebuilt transmissions for 30 plus years, so he was able to put all new seals in it, went through and made sure all the clutches and everything were in good shape, and we put it back in. So the engines fire right up. They run amazing. I had the carburetor rebuilt because I had some issues with that, but I think it was just because of a gas issue. But mechanically it's really great. I'm not comfortable using the boat with the gas engines in the underneath the deck, but there's a lot of boats out there still running like that. I'm just overly paranoid. Plus, I would like to have the outboard so we can run a little more shallow. We do a lot in the Keys, and with this boat in the Keys, I really wouldn't be able to leave the channel, and then there's really no sense in going down there because you can't explore if you have a 4-foot draft. I mean, even in my outboard, I have to be careful because to run aground, and you can't get into any of the, you know, the nice areas. So it'd be nice to have outboards, and then, you know, I might draft, you know, 2.5. I'm not really sure. All right, so I think I'm gonna wrap up the video now. I rambled on enough about this boat and kind of gave you a good overview. There's some other things, you know, up around the helm that I'm gonna be working on, which I'll get to that in another video. So my plan right now is to just get the outside painted. Our lease on this house that we live in is up November 15th, and we're not really sure if we're going to renew our lease just because of the cost to live here. We probably will, but if I had to move the boat to a marina, they're not really going to like me working on the outside of the boat in the marina. So if I can get the outside painted and situated, then I can move to the inside, and I can be a little more discreet working on the boat on the inside, you know, at a marina or maybe at a private dock. So that's the goal, is to get it completely painted, get the windlass back in, get everything situated before November 15th, which I'm hoping it'll be before that, but these things take forever, and I'm super picky, and I like everything to be flawless. I'm not gonna throw paint over something and then, you know, in a couple months or a year, I'm gonna wanna fix it or change it. So that's the goal. Gonna stop rambling, and I gotta get to work. It's already like 12:30, and I need to try to get some stuff done today. So I appreciate it, guys, and see you in the next one.